Good evening, students. So today we'll start another video lecture on the system of particles and rotational motion, part 2. So here in this section we will see the vector product, okay, and or it is also known as the right hand screw rule, and we'll see the properties of the vectors, and next we'll see the angular velocity and its relation to linear velocity, and we'll see the angular acceleration, as well as lastly we will see derive about the torque. Okay, so let us start with the first one. As I told you, that is the vector product of the two vectors. So now you can see here in the diagram, if we take two vectors A and B, okay, so two vectors A and B, so let us call them as force. Then when we rotate, or when we have a screw in our hand, and if we want to pierce the screw in the wall, so we have to put the force in this direction. Okay, so as you see in the second diagram, it is in this direction, that is anti-clockwise direction. It goes upwards. So the force which is moving upwards, that is the product of the two vectors A and B. So these A and B are nothing but the applied force, two forces, and the third force will be the product of these two vectors, that is the force C. That is when we apply two forces A and B, and you can see the curled fingers, the thumb shows the upward direction, that will be the third force. So this is the vector product. So let us see the statement. The magnitude of vector C is the product of the magnitudes of vector A and vector B, and the sine of the angle between the two vectors, that is modulus of C is equal to C, and that is AB sine theta. So theta is nothing but the angle between the two vectors A and B, and the direction of vector C is perpendicular to the plane containing A and B, and it is given by the right hand or the right hand screw rule. It is also known as the right hand rule, or it is the right hand screw rule. So here you can see what does according to the right hand rule says. Let us see. If the fingers of the right hand are curled, so here you can see the fingers are curled, okay, it shows the forces or the direction of A and B. Then the stretched thumb shows the points in the direction of C. So this is the right hand rule. Similarly, screw rule is nothing but, so A and B are the two vectors, and theta is the angle between them. So C is given by in the upward direction, that is it gives the direction of the force in the upward direction. So it is given by C is equal to, it is also a vector. So when we multiply two vectors, and what the product we are getting is another vector, then we will take it as AB sine theta. So the magnitude of the C is AB sine theta. So now, according to the right-handed screw rule, if the right hand of the screw rule is turned in the direction from A to B, the direction in which the tip of the screw advances gives the direction of C. So that's what I told. The vector product of vector A and vector B is represented as vector A cross vector B. So always the vectors product which result is also a vector, we have to take the cross product, and hence it is called the cross product. So as I told, it is the cross product, then A cross B is equal to vector C. So it does not commute, the vector product does not commute, that is vector A cross vector B is not equal to, it is not equal to vector B cross vector A. So you cannot reverse these two vectors. So why we cannot do that, I will tell you in the properties. Okay, so here vector A cross vector B is equal to minus, they are equal and opposite, hence we cannot do. So minus B vector cross A vector, so minus A cross minus B equal to, again minus into minus will be plus, so again it will be A cross B. Thus A cross B does not change the sign under reflection. Vector product is distributive with respect to addition. So if we add, that is A cross into B plus C, so it will be multiply individually for the vectors A cross B, so this into this and this into this, so A cross B plus A cross C, and the magnitude of vector A cross vector A. So if there are two similar vectors, their direction will be same. So if the direction is same, so vector A and vector A, if the direction will be same, angle theta will be equal to 0 between these two, because they are parallel to each other. Therefore A square sin 0 is equal to 0, because sin of 0 degree is 0, right? Sin of 0 degree is 0. Therefore A cross A is equal to 0. That means it is the null vector. It is a null vector. Now let us see some of the results of multiplying the vectors, unit vectors. So first one you can see, as I told you, if they are similar vectors. So in the previous page we have seen A cross A. So A cross A means they are parallel to each other. Therefore I cross I is nothing but the unit vector along x-axis, J is the unit vector along y-axis, and K is the unit vector along z-axis. So I cross I equal to 0, J cross J equal to 0, K cross K is equal to 0. Now we can multiply with the cycle like this, I, then J, then K, then again I, from K to I to J, J to K, K to I, right? In this cycle only we have to go. Therefore I cross J will give you K, then J cross K will give I, then K cross I will give again J. So this is the cycle, right? Now we cannot reverse it. So reverse means again it moves in the anticlockwise direction. So it will be J cross I is minus K, K cross J is equal to minus I, and I cross K is equal to minus J, right? Reverse direction is equal to the negative of the third vector, right? So now let us see the properties in terms of the determinants. So if vector A is equal to ax I cap plus ay j cap plus az k cap, and B vector is equal to so B vector is B x I cap plus by j cap plus bz k cap. Okay, so in this form we can write vector A and vector B. Now the product of these two, that is A cross B, is equal to A x B y I So here we'll say by k cap minus ax bz j cap minus ay, because I and I, it becomes 0, right? Ax and bx will become 0, and similarly ay by becomes 0. Therefore, so if we take I cross y is k, I cross j gives k cap, okay, and bx, ax and bz will give you then j cap plus minus ay bx k cap plus ay bz I cap plus az bx j cap minus az by I cap. Okay, by taking this, the third one, we'll get minus here. Okay, so, and where we get plus, you just look into it and just you first completely you multiply and see the result. Then ay bz minus az by into I cap plus az bx minus ax bz into j cap plus ax by minus ay bx into k cap. So here in determinants form we can write a cross b vector is equal to I j k cap ax ay az, similarly bx by bz, and again if we multiply you get this result only. Okay, so now let us go to the angular velocity and its relation to linear velocity. Now in the diagram you can see, so consider a rigid body rotating about a fixed axis along the z-axis, fixed axis, say z-axis. Every particle of the body moves in a circle except at the axis. The plane of this circle is perpendicular to the axis and has its center on the axis. So here you can see this is the y-axis, the x-axis, y-axis and z-axis. A particle is moving along the z-axis, right? And here it has a linear velocity v from the center. Let us take r as the vector, position vector. It moves in the form of the circle. Okay, and here p is the particle of a rigid body describing a circle of radius r with c as the center on the axis. Let v be the velocity, linear velocity, and we will consider two positions here, p and p2, p dash of the particle. So at one instant of time it will have a it will cover it will be at the position p, and after some instant of time it will be at p dash. So from here to here, if it is moving, it has a time interval of delta t. Okay, now the angular displacement of the particle with an is given by angle of PC P dash, that is equal to delta theta. So angular velocity is given by omega equal to delta theta by delta t. So similarly, instantaneous angular velocity is omega equal to, take the limiting value. So in the from the motion in straight line, we have seen the what is the instantaneous velocity, right? Instantaneous, how we take the limiting value. So limit of delta t tends to 0, delta theta by delta t, which is equal to, again what we get is a differentiation of d theta by dt, right? Then let us take the displacement. Delta s is equal to p dash, and the distance, that is the distance traveled by the particle at a time interval delta t. So linear velocity is given by displacement by time taken, that is delta s by delta t. So therefore delta s is v is equal to, so what is delta s, that is r into delta theta in this circle. So r into delta theta by delta t. So here r delta theta by delta t is nothing but omega. So delta s is equal to r delta theta. So that is equal to r into omega. So this is omega, right? Here it is. So r into omega. Therefore, what is the relation between linear velocity and angular velocities? V equals to the product of the radius position vector into, or the radius vector into the angular velocity. So this is the relation of the linear velocity and angular velocity. Now let us see the angular acceleration. So acceleration is nothing but the rate of change of velocity. So here angular acceleration means the rate of change of angular velocity of a rotating rigid body is called the angular acceleration, and it is denoted by alpha. So therefore angular acceleration alpha is equal to d omega vector by dt. So this is the relation for the angular acceleration. So now let us move on to the torque. So torque is nothing but the turning effect of the force about an axis of rotation. It is called the torque or moment of force, and it is measured. It is a measure of the rotational effect of the force. So torque is nothing but, if we take 2 points. So here at this point a force is applied F, and here downwards the force is applied. So from the center, how much is the distance from this point? So let us call this as x1 and this as x2. So torque is nothing but, it is x1 cross F here for this direction. So it rotates. If we apply the force in this direction, it moves in this direction, and if it is in the downward direction, it moves. Okay, so like seesaw, how it is seesaw. So there is torque applied, right? Okay, now let us consider this diagram here. So let us take a point P on the ZY plane. So F is the force applied on this point, and here you can see it is a rotatory effect. So where does the rotatory effect takes place is in this direction, that is torque tau is equal to R cross F. It is a rotating effect. Okay, it moves from this coordinate to this coordinate, and here its component is given by r sin theta, and r is the radius vector from origin to the point P, or the position vector we can say. So therefore here torque is given by the product of the position vector into the force applied on that body, that is a rigid body. It has a rotating effect, or it is also known as the moment of the force. Okay, it is also known as moment of the force, and it is given by tau equal to Rf sin theta. Now its SI unit of the torque is Newton meter. Its dimensional formula is given by ml square t raised to minus 2. So we'll have two possibilities here. So if tau is 0, tau will be 0 when theta is 0, since sine of 0 is equal to 0, so there will be no tau. That is, it has a minimum value, and tau is maximum when maximum, that is r into f, when theta is equal to 90 degree. So because sine of 90 is 1. So this is the two conditions, that is the maximum and minimum value of the torque. Okay. So if the force applied is parallel to the radius, okay, to the radius vector, then the torque will be 0, and if the force applied is 90 degree, it has a maximum value. The torque will have the maximum value. Thank you.